Hello everyone, welcome to today's session of composite materials classes. Okay, as you know, we were discussing about the bricks, right? So we have completed till here. Okay, till manufacturing of the classes, um, manufacturing of the bricks, we have completed. Okay, so this much of portion is completed. So today we will see the classification of bricks as per common practice and classification of bricks as per constituent materials. Okay, if possible, if time permits, we will discuss about test on bricks also. Otherwise, test of bricks we will discuss in the next class. Okay, at least these two we will try to complete in today's session. Okay, if we complete test on bricks also, then afterwards we will see some of the MCQs questions which has been appeared in the GATE exam. Okay, so those questions we will discuss after the completion of this whole topic. Okay, so whatever the questions which had come in the GATE exam in the previous year and which is related to bricks, so those questions we will discuss. Okay. Okay. Okay, without wasting time, we will go directly to the classification of bricks. No need of discussing or revising whatever we have discussed in the last class. Okay, from already so many days we were discussing about bricks only. Okay, let us start. So classification of bricks as per common practice. Okay, bricks which are used in construction works are burnt bricks. Okay, they are classified in the four categories on the basis of its manufacturing and preparation as given below. First is first class brick, second class brick, third class brick, and fourth class brick. Okay, so this type of a classification is very easy to remember. Okay, first, second, third, and fourth class of bricks. Okay, so here why the names are given like this: first, second, third, and fourth. So these names are given according to their quality. Okay, quality of brick. The most highest quality of brick is comes under first class brick. Okay, second class brick has a lower quality than the first class brick. Then third class brick comes. Third class bricks have less quality than the second and first brick. Then fourth class bricks are the bricks which are having lowest quality. Okay, which doesn't have any quality material. Okay, so let us discuss these four these four types of bricks. First one is first class brick. Okay, these bricks are table molded. Remember, we had discussed the two types of molding. One is ground molding and second one is table molding. Okay, in the process of molding, we had seen ground molding and table molding. Okay, so these first class bricks comes under the table molding. Okay, and of standard shape, and they are burnt in the kiln. Okay, so these first class bricks are table molded bricks, and these are having a standard shape. Okay, it will be having a sharp edges. Then these are burnt in the kiln. Okay, in the burning process also we had seen two types, right? So these are the kiln burnt. The surface and edges of the brick are sharp, square, smooth, and straight. Okay, you can see here in the figure this brick. You can see the edges or the corners, how much sharp it is, right? So you can see even this line. Okay, this corner. See how much straight it is, right? They comply with all the qualities of good bricks. These bricks are used for superior work. and permanent nature. Okay, so here you see the first class bricks are bricks which are table molded and it has standard shape. Okay, and these are burnt in the kiln. So when you see the brick, you can see that these bricks are having sharp, smooth, straight, and square edges. Okay, so everything you will not see any crack on this. Okay, there will not be any crack and there will not be any holes on that. Okay, so these are the sharp and good strength bricks. Okay, all the qualities of the bricks will be at a superior quality. Okay, so these type of bricks are usually used where there will be aesthetic appearance, where you are going to do the construction or the construction of wall with the help of this first class brick, and you are not going to do the plastering. Okay, you are not going to do the plastering. Okay, so you people might have seen some construction of walls or some buildings, they will be constructed with the help of bricks only, then there will not be any plastering. Okay, so they will give the good appearance or the look of the building with the help of bricks only. Okay, with the help of bricks only. So for that type of a construction will be done with the first class bricks, because this does not require plastering and all. Okay, so as the edges, corners, and all the sides are very sharp and good looking, so walls will be constructed with the help of first class brick, does not require plastering. Okay, this will be used for show purpose or appearance purpose. Okay, so the look will be given with the help of bricks only. Understood? So these are called as first class bricks, which have sharp, smooth, and straight corners. Okay, sharp edges will be there, and these are having superior quality. These are called as first class bricks. Okay, now second class bricks. These bricks are table molded. Sorry, these bricks are ground molded. Okay, first class bricks are table molded. Second class bricks are ground molded. Okay, remember the difference. And they are burnt in kiln. First class bricks also burnt in kiln, and second class bricks also are burnt in kiln. So the surface of these bricks is somewhat rough and shape is slightly irregular. Okay, so the surface you can see, this surface is not as smooth as first class brick. If you see in the previous figure, you can see the surface is how much smooth here. Okay, edges and corners are very sharp, but here if you see, the edges and corners are not as sharp as first class brick. Okay, and you can see some the corners are also not sharp. The bricks may have hair crack. Okay, there may be hair crack, and their edges may not be sharp and uniform. Okay, in the first class brick, the edges and corners are very sharp and uniform, but in the second class brick, these are not very sharp and uniform. Okay, these bricks are commonly used at the places where brickwork is provided with the coat of plaster. Okay, so if you do the construction with the help of second class brick, then you have to go for plastering. Okay, you should go for plastering. You cannot leave like this only with the second class brick. It will not look good. But for first class brick, if you don't provide plaster also, it will the strength of the wall will remain, and also it will give a very good appearance. Okay, because first class bricks are very sharp, will have sharp corners and edges. In the second class brick, it is not so. That's why for the second class brick, we have to go for coating of plaster. Understood? Now, third class brick. These bricks are ground molded. These are ground molded bricks, and they are burnt in clamps. Okay, first class and second class bricks are burnt in kiln, whereas third class bricks are burnt in clamps. Okay, so these bricks are not hard and they have rough surface. Okay, so these bricks are not as hard as first and second class bricks. Okay, and also these bricks have rough surface with irregular and distorted edges. Okay, edges will be distorted here. These bricks give dull sound where struck together. They are used for unimportant and temporary structure at the places where rainfall is not heavy. Okay, so what do you mean by dull sound? Okay, there will be, to check the quality of bricks, you will take two bricks in your both hands. Okay, one brick in each hand, so two bricks in both the hands. Then you will struck to each other. Okay, you will dash one brick with another brick. So if you get a clear metallic sound, it means your brick is of good quality. If you get a dull sound, it means your brick is not of a good quality. So that's why in the third class brick, you will get, when you struck together the two bricks, you will get dull sound. You will not get metallic sound. Okay, so if you go on any side, then to do this test, take two bricks. Okay, one brick in each hand, then dash both the bricks with each other, then listen to the sound that you will get. Okay, if you get a clear metallic sound, okay, then the quality of brick is good. But in third class brick, you will get a dull sound. Okay, so that's why these type of bricks will not be of a good quality, and it is used for unimportant work. Okay, so where the rainfall is not heavy, if you use this type of a brick where the rainfall is heavy, then what will happen? Then these bricks will absorb the water from the rain. Okay, it will absorb the water from the rain from outside, from the exterior of wall. Then that water will percolate from the brick, and it will it will be visible from the inside surface of the brick. Mean from inside of the room also, you can see that the wall is wet. Okay, so you can see these are the, this is the picture of third class brick. So these type of bricks are used for unimportant work where the rainfall is not heavy. Understood? So this is called as third class brick. Next is fourth class brick. These are overburnt bricks. Okay, so we know what is overburnt brick. When I was explaining about the clamp burning, in the process of burning, I told you that the bottommost portion, okay, the first and second layer of the brick from the bottom will be the overburnt, and the topmost layer will be underburnt. So like that, the fourth class bricks are bricks which are overburnt. When you are burning, the bricks which got overburnt are called as fourth class brick, and these will have irregular shape and dark color. Okay, the shape will not be same as that of a brick, so it will be distorted, and color will not be red. The color will be dark color. These bricks are used as aggregate for concrete in foundation, floors, roads, etc. because of the fact that overburnt bricks have a compact structure, and hence they are sometimes found to be stronger than even the first class bricks. Okay, so these fourth class bricks are overburnt. Okay, first of all, these are overburnt and these are dark in color. Then these bricks will have very good strength. Okay, fourth class bricks will have a very good strength, and these are harder than the first class bricks. But why it is categorized under fourth class brick is because this will not have a proper shape. Okay, the shape and the corner will get distorted, so you cannot use it in the construction properly. So that's why it is categorized under the fourth class brick. Okay, but these will have a very good and strong, good quality and strong, just in case of strength. But when you go for shape, size, texture, water absorption, so these brick will fail there. Okay, so that's why, so this type of a bricks can be used as aggregate. Okay, as these are having very good strength, so after crushing it can be used as a aggregate for the concrete. Okay, where unimportant work of concrete is there, So in those areas, fourth class bricks can be used as a aggregate. Understood? So you can see these are the pictures of fourth class bricks which are overburnt. You can see here this much portion is overburnt. So it has got converted into black color instead of red color. Okay. So this you can see the shape of the brick also. It is completely distorted. Edges and corners are not as that of the brick. So it is distorted. But this will be having a very good strength or hard. These bricks are very hard, so it can be used as aggregate. Okay. So this is all about classification of bricks. Okay. First class brick, second class brick, third class brick, and fourth class brick. Okay. Next classification is as per constituent material. Okay. So classification of bricks as per constituent materials. There are various types of bricks used in masonry. Okay, various types of bricks are used in masonry work. First is common burnt clay bricks. Okay, so this is the brick that we have discussed till now. Okay, so second type of brick is sand lime brick or calcium silicate brick. Third one is engineering bricks. Fourth, concrete bricks, and fifth one is fly ash clay bricks. Okay, let us discuss these all types of bricks now. Okay, whatever we have discussed till now about the brick, so that is a common burnt clay brick. Okay, about this brick we have discussed till now. There are other types of bricks also, depending on their constituent material. Now, common burnt clay bricks. Common burnt clay bricks are formed by pressing in molds. Okay, in the molding operation, we have seen how the bricks are molded. So then these bricks are dried and fired in a kiln. Common burnt clay bricks are used in general work with no special attractive appearances. When these bricks are used in walls, they require plastering or rendering. Understood? So whatever we discussed till now about the brick is, that is nothing but a common burnt clay brick. Okay, how it is formed? By pressing in the mold and burning in the kiln. Okay. You see, this is the picture, a common burnt clay brick. Next is sand lime brick. Okay, so this brick is different now. Whatever we discussed till now about brick, that was a common burnt clay brick. Now this type is sand lime brick. Sand lime bricks are made by mixing sand, fly ash, and lime, followed by a chemical process during wet mixing. The mix is then molded under pressure, forming the brick. Okay, so what is sand lime brick? Sand lime brick is a brick which is prepared by mixing sand, fly ash, and lime. Okay, so these three materials are mixed with each other. Then there will be some chemical process. Okay, during the wet mixing. So these three materials are mixed, and then it will be pressed in the mold. Okay, then it will take the shape of brick. These bricks can offer advantages over clay bricks, such as their color appearance is gray instead of that regular reddish color. Their shape is uniform and presents a smoother finish than that does not require plastering. Okay, so what in the sand lime brick, the advantages over the normal burnt clay brick is that, so this sand lime brick is gray in color. Okay, so these bricks are gray in color, and a normal brick is in reddish color. Okay, red color brick will be there for the bricks for a normal burnt clay brick, but for sand lime brick the color is gray. Their shape is uniform and presents a smoother finish that does not require plastering. Okay, so this type of a bricks also does not require plastering. So if you think of this first class bricks, okay, first class bricks also does not require plastering, and this sand lime bricks also does not require plastering. These bricks offer excellent strength as load bearing member. Okay, so strength of these bricks are very good. Okay, and it can withstand more load than the normal brick. You can see this is the figure of sand lime brick. It is gray in color. It is same as that of the first class brick. The corners, edges, okay, everything are very sharp and smooth surface will be there. Okay, this is called as sand lime brick. Next is engineering bricks. Engineering bricks are bricks manufactured at extremely high temperature. Okay, so these types of bricks are manufactured at very high temperature, forming a dense and forming a dense and strong brick. Okay, so when you burn these bricks at a very high temperature, so this will fuse with the material will get fused, and it will become dense, and it will become a strong brick, allowing the brick to limit strength and water absorption. Okay, so the strength will be good, it will be strong enough, and the water absorption will be less. Okay, it will limit the strength and water absorption. Engineering bricks offer excellent load bearing capacity, damp proof characteristics, and chemical resistance properties. Okay, so these engineering bricks will have excellent load bearing capacity. It can withstand more amount of load. Okay, if you put more load also, it will not get crushed easily. Then damp proof means if there is a contact of moisture, okay, then there will not be any effect of moisture on the brick. Okay, and these bricks are having chemical resistance properties. Okay, if there is any attack of chemical on the brick, so this type of bricks will resist the effect of chemical. Understood? So you can see in the figure, these are the engineering bricks. Here also you can see the corners, edges are very sharp, and surface is very smooth. So hence it can be considered in the first class brick. Next type of brick is concrete brick. Next type of brick is concrete brick. Concrete bricks are made from solid concrete. Concrete bricks are usually placed in packets, fences, and provided an excellent aesthetic presence. These bricks can be manufactured to provide different color as pigment during its production. Okay, so these concrete bricks are of solid concrete material. Okay, so you see here, I will show you. Okay, here in the figure you can see these are the concrete bricks. Okay, these are the concrete bricks. So these will be having very good strength. Okay, it will be a hard concrete. Okay, it is used by hard concrete, means you will prepare it with the help of concrete only, which is having the less workability, means it is hard concrete. Okay, when it gets hard, it will take a very good shape and will be having good corners, edges, and surface. Even you can see here in this figure, the color of the brick can be changed while manufacturing. Okay, whichever the color you want, that color you can put it as a pigment during the manufacturing. Okay, so whatever the brick which will get manufactured will gain the color which one you have added as a pigment. Okay, whichever color of brick you want, you can manufacture by adding that particular color pigment during its manufacturing. Understood? Next, fly ash clay brick. Fly ash clay bricks. Fly ash clay bricks are manufactured with clay and fly ash. Okay, here both are used in this. Clay is also used, fly ash is also used. Okay, so from these many days that we were discussing, those were burnt clay bricks. Okay, in that only clay was there, clay was used and it was burnt to form the brick. Now in fly ash clay brick, we are using fly ash plus clay. Okay, along with the clay we are adding fly ash also. Okay, so that type of bricks are called as fly ash clay brick. At about 1000 degrees Celsius, okay, so means these are when this fly ash and clay is mixed together, then molding, burning and all. Okay, so burning should take place at 1000 degrees Celsius. Then the bricks which is formed are called as fly ash clay bricks. Some studies have shown that these bricks tend to fail poor products, poor produced pop-outs when bricks come into contact with moisture and water, causing the brick to expand. Okay, so when you are preparing a brick by adding clay and fly ash, then the burning should take place till 1000 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the brick that you will get by fly ash and clay, so those bricks will not be having good quality. Okay, these bricks will not have a good quality. It will produce it will give a poor produce. Okay, and it will give the pop-outs. Pop-outs are nothing but if there will be some pebbles and all which are coming out, and if you scratch it, then there will be a mark on the brick. Okay, and it will absorb more moisture content from the surrounding. Okay, if you put the water on that, there will be more seepage. Okay, water will come out from another side if you put on one side. Okay, and there will be chances that the brick will expand in shape and size. Okay, so these are the fly ash clay brick is not a good quality of brick. You can see this these bricks are fly ash clay brick. Okay, okay, so now next is test on brick. So here we completed both the classification of bricks. Okay, first one, classification, you see, classification of bricks as per constituent materials, that we have completed just now. Before that we discussed classification of bricks as per common practice. Okay, you remember both this classification. This is very easy to remember, as per common practice, that is first class, second class, third class and fourth class. And in this classification as per constituent material, means which material is used for manufacturing the brick. Okay, constituent material. Here the constituent material is clay. Here constituent material is sand and lime. Here constituent material is not given, but name of the brick is engineering brick. Here constituent material is concrete. Here constituent materials are fly ash and clay. Okay. Next, we will start with the test on bricks. To know the quality of bricks, following 7 tests can be performed. In these tests, some are performed in laboratory and the rest are on the field. First one is compressive strength test. Okay, first one is compressive strength test. Second is water absorption test. Next, efflorescence test, hardness test, size, shape and color test. Next, soundness test and structure test. Okay, so these are the different types of tests that can be performed on the brick. Okay, so let us discuss these tests on the bricks. Okay, first one is compressive strength test. This test is done to know the compressive strength of brick. It is also called as crushing strength of brick. Okay, so what we are going to do here in the compressive strength test of the brick is, you will take the brick and you will apply the load on that brick. Okay, what you will do, you will take one specimen of brick, okay, one single piece of brick, and you will apply the load on that. Okay, then you will goes on increasing the load. Okay, continuously you have to keep on increasing the load until your brick get cracked, and it when it get until it gets crushes. Okay, so you keep a brick and apply the load on that brick. Okay, so you have to you should be knowing how much load is being applied on the brick. Okay, so first starting from 100 kg, 150 kg, 200 kgs, so keep on increasing the load, and you should be knowing how much load is being applied. Continuously you have to gradually increase the load until your brick gets crushes, or it fails to take the load, or if it gets the crack, then you should see that at how much load your brick is failing. Okay, so this test is called as compressive strength test or crushing strength test. Understood? Next, generally 5 specimens of brick are taken to laboratory for testing and tested one by one. In this test, a brick specimen is put on crushing machine and applied pressure till it breaks. The ultimate pressure at which the brick is crushed is taken into account. Okay, so what we have to do? We have to take 5 specimens. Okay, 5 specimens from one this one brick company. Okay, but just by taking one brick and doing the test, you cannot say that all the bricks are having the same crushing strength. You should take at least 5 specimens and do the test for all of them and see how much is the compressive strength of each brick. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to take the specimen, then you have to keep it in the crushing machine. Means the figure is there in the next slide. I will show you. Just imagine you have to take the brick, you have to keep it in the machine, then you have to apply the pressure on that. Means you have to apply the load on that, and that load will be keep on increasing until your brick gets crushes or it gets breaks. Then you have to see at how much load it has it got broken, right? So that load is called as compressive means last load that or ultimate load that brick can withstand. All 5 brick specimens are tested one by one, and average result is taken as brick's compressive or crushing strength. Okay, so you have to do this test for all the 5 bricks. Okay, for all the 5 bricks you have to do this test, then you have to take the average of that. Okay, you have to take the average of those 5 bricks, then that average is called as the compressive strength of the brick. Understood? Okay, you see here in the figure, this is a compressive testing machine from here to here. Okay, so operating system is here. Okay, here you can see a meter. Here in this meter you will get to know how much load is being applied. Okay, so here you have to keep the brick. Okay, there you have to keep the brick. First, what you have to do, this is the bottom surface, this is the top surface. you have to keep your brick in between this. Okay, here in between this you have to keep your brick. Okay, so you can see here is your brick. So after keeping this brick, you have to rotate this. Sorry. Okay, you have to rotate this. When you rotate, you have to rotate until this top surface will come and touch the brick. Okay, when it touches the brick, from here you have to start the machine. From here you have to start the machine, and it will gradually increase the load on the brick. Okay, it will gradually increase the load on the brick. It means increasing of the load is nothing but it will the top surface will start to move downward. It starts to move downward. Okay, so you will get to know then the brick will reaches its maximum load capacity. Okay, when this brick reaches its maximum load capacity, it will get cracked. You can see it has got cracked like this. Okay, at the load, okay, at the load where the brick is failing, that load you have to note down. It means that is the highest capacity of brick to take the load. More than that, it will not take. The brick will get cracked. Understood? Is there any doubt in this? Compressive strength test of the brick. Is it okay? Then second test is water absorption test. Okay, second test is water absorption test. In this test, bricks are weighed in a dry condition. Okay, first you have to take the brick and you have to weigh it and let them immersed in fresh water for 24 hours. After 24 hours of immersion, those are taken out from water and wiped out with the cloth. Then brick is weighed in wet condition. Okay, what you have to do? First you take a brick, okay, from the brick factory. After burning, cooling and all, when your brick is ready, so that first dry brick, okay, the dry brick that you take and check the weight of that brick. You will get around 2 kg or something, 2 kg, 3 kg, whatever the load of that brick is there, you will get it. So note down that load of the weight of the brick. Okay, after noting down the weight of brick, what you have to do? You have to immerse that water in the fresh water. Okay, in water tank, you have to immerse it, or you have to keep it under water. For how much time? For 24 hours. Okay, for 24 hours, your brick should be in water. After that, after 24 hours, okay, so suppose now at 3:30 you have put your brick into the water. Then tomorrow at 3:30 you have to come and you have to take it out from the water. Then with the help of dry cloth, okay, with the help of dry cotton cloth, you have to wipe it. Means if there is any presence of water on the surface, from the surface the water should get away. So you have to wipe it with the help of dry cloth. Then you have to take the load of that wet brick. Okay, after taking out from the water, after 24 hours, you have to wipe out the surface. After wiping out the surface, you have to take the load of that brick. Weight of that brick. Okay, you have to take the weight of brick. Initially, we took the weight of brick and in the dry condition before putting it into the water. Okay, that you can consider it as W1. Okay, now after putting it into the water for 24 hours, you have to take it out from the water, wipe it thoroughly with the help of cloth, and then again you take the weight. So that weight can be said as W2. Okay, now the difference between weight is the water absorbed by the brick. Okay, so what you have to do now, you have to do W2 minus W1. Suppose before putting into the water, if the weight was 2 kg, okay, next day after 24 hours you have taken out, wiped it, again took the weight. So at that time you got the weight as 2.5 kg. 2.5 kg. So W1 is 2 kg, W2 is 2.5 kg. Now you have to take the difference of weight, that is W2 minus W1. So 2.5 minus 2, so how much you'll get? 0.5. okay, so that is the difference. The percentage of water absorption is then calculated. Okay, so 0.5 kg, so the load you got, okay, so that much amount of water, 0.5 kg amount of water is absorbed by the brick in 24 hours. Understood? So 0.5 kg of water is absorbed by the brick in 24 hours. Okay, so that you have to calculate in the percentage now. Okay. The less water absorbed by the brick, the greater is the quality. Good quality brick does not absorb more than 20% of the 20% water of its own weight. Okay, so if you suppose your brick is absorbing more amount of water, it means that your brick is of not good quality. Okay, a good quality of brick is one which absorbs very less amount of water. Okay, which absorbs very less amount of water. Okay, so up to 20% of water absorption is okay. Okay, you can say the quality of brick is good. If the absorption of water is more than 20% of its weight, then the quality of brick is not good. Okay, as much as less amount of water absorption is there, that much good quality of brick. If the water absorption is more and more, and if it is more than 20%, it means the quality of brick is not good. Understood? You can see here. Okay, so first you have to take the weight of brick. Okay, dry brick. So this is called as W1. Then you have to put it into the water for 24 hours. Okay, after that you can see he is wiping out the surface with the help of cloth. So after this you have to take W2. Okay, so W2 will be more than W1, right? W2 will be more than W1 because W2 contains W1 plus water, right? So W2 is equal to W1 plus water. So when you do W2 minus W1, you will get amount of water which is absorbed. Then you have to see in percentage how much percentage of water is absorbed by the brick in terms of weight of brick. Okay, if it is less than 20%, then the quality of brick is good. If it is more than 20%, then the quality of brick is not good. Understood? Is there any doubt in this test? Water absorption test. Okay, so how much less amount of water will be absorbed by the brick, that much good will be the quality. If more and more amount of water is being absorbed by the brick, it means the quality of brick is not good. Okay, a good quality of brick in the water absorption is such that when you put it into the water, okay, when you keep it into the water, only the surface should absorb the water. Okay, the water should not reach to its core portion, the centermost portion. It should not reach till there. Okay, if it is reaching throughout the body of the brick, okay, means the whole water is getting transported through the pores of brick from one side to another side, it means that there will be more absorption of water. Okay, more and more absorption of water, and the brick will be completely wet. Understood? So brick should absorb as less amount of water as possible to be a good quality. Next is efflorescence test. Okay, efflorescence test. Okay, next is efflorescence test. The presence of alkalis in the brick is harmful and they form a gray or white layer on the brick surface by absorbing the moisture. To find out the presence of alkalis in the brick, this test is performed. Okay, so what is efflorescence? Already I have explained you in the harmful ingredients of brick. If you remember, I have explained you what is efflorescence. Okay, in the harmful ingredients of brick, I told one of the harmful ingredient was alkali. One of the harmful ingredient was alkali. If there is a presence of alkali, then there will be efflorescence for the bricks. Okay, so again here it has come the efflorescence test. Okay, how much amount of efflorescence will be there on the brick. Okay, the presence of alkali in the brick is harmful. Okay, it is harmful. If there is efflorescence, then it is harmful. So why this efflorescence will be there? This efflorescence will be because of alkali, because of presence of alkali in the brick. Okay, they form a gray or white layer on the brick surface by absorbing the moisture. Okay, by absorbing the more and more amount of moisture, these alkalis will give a gray and white color patches on the surface of the brick. To find out the presence of alkali in the brick, this test is performed. Okay, so efflorescence test is performed to know how much amount of alkali is present or whether the alkali is present or not. Okay, so in this test, a brick is immersed in fresh water for 24 hours. Okay, so in the water absorption test also we had done that. So in for efflorescence test also we have to do that. Okay, first take a dry brick, then put it into the water for 24 hours. After 24 hours, then it's taken out from the water tank and it is allowed to dry in the shade. Okay, in the shade you have to dry that brick. Okay, so when after drying, if whitish layer is not visible on the surface, it proves that the absence of alkali in the brick. Okay, so when you are drying it, okay, after putting it into the water for 24 hours, when you are drying it, if there is no any white patches or gray patches on the surface of the brick, it means that there is no presence of alkali in the brick. Then your brick is of good quality. Okay, so if you got whitish layer, okay, if you get the whitish layer which is visible about 10%, okay, which is visible about 10% of the brick surface, then there is a presence of alkali in the accepted range. Okay, so presence of alkali is there. Okay, alkali is present in the brick, but it is not harmful. Okay, less amount of alkali is present. That's why you have got only 10% of the surface of brick as white patches. Okay, if that is about 50% of the surface, then it is moderate. Okay, if 10% patches are there, then low amount of alkali is there. If 50% of patches are there, means little bit more amount of alkali is present, because more amount of alkali means 50% of the brick will get covered by the white patches. Okay, if the alkali is present is if the alkali presence is over 50%, then the brick is severely affected by the alkali. Okay, if more than 50% of the surface of brick has got white patches, then it means that it has severely got affected by the alkali. So such type of bricks should not be used. Understood this efflorescence test? What we have to do? We have to take a dry brick then you have to put it into the water for 24 hours. After 24 hours, take out the brick from the water tank, then you have to dry it in the shade. Okay, so when it is drying, if it does not get any color change, it means that there is no presence of alkali, or alkali is not present in the brick. If the 10% of the surface of brick got patches, white or gray patches, it means that alkali is present, but it is in acceptable range. You can use that brick for the construction. If 50% of the brick has got affected by the white and gray patches, it means more amount of alkali is present. If more than 50% has got affected, it means the a heavy amount of alkali is present in the brick, and such bricks should not be used for construction. Understanding, right? Okay, next is hardness test. Let me finish all the tests today, so that in the next class we can start with the MCQ test, MCQ questions on the bricks. Okay, hardness test. In this test, a scratch is made on the brick surface, okay, with a hard thing. If that doesn't left any impression on the brick, then that brick is of a good quality. Okay, how you will do the hardness test? You take the brick in your hand, or you take any brick, then take one hard thing. Okay, any hard thing you take, any metallic thing, or whichever it is, which is hard. It should be hard and sharp in the front. Okay, with the help of that, you have to make a scratch on the surface of the brick. Okay, with the normal load or with the normal pressure, you make a scratch on the surface of the brick. Okay, when you make a scratch, if that hard thing has left any impression, or if there is a line, okay, after scratching, if you see any line on the surface of the brick, it means that the brick quality of brick is not good. Okay, if there is no any line, or if there is no any impression on the surface of brick, even after scratching with a hard thing, then it means that the quality of brick is good. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so if it has left any impression,